Hi all, welcome back to yet another video. Today I am here with Old Man and the Sea, written by Ernest Hemingway. Let's see the characters first, starting from Santiago. Santiago is an old Cuban fisherman who is dedicated to his who is very much dedicated to his profession. When the novel opens, he is in the midst of an 84-day unlucky streak without catching a fish. Throughout the novel, Santiago expresses a remarkable respect and love for the natural world. And as a young man, he worked on the turtle hunting vessel that traveled to Africa. His most poignant memory, to which he returns throughout The Old Man and the Sea, is that of lions running and playing on the beach. So the old man shares a passion for baseball, specifically the player Jody Maggio. And throughout the central conflict between Santiago and the Marlin, he shows perseverance and strength that allows him to bear extended periods of pain and disappointment. His thoughts and actions carry the story. So, Hemingway's stunted sentence structure, the old man's words and considerations come across simply and clearly. That's about Santiago. Then, next important character is Manolin. Manolin is a young boy and a close friend of Santiago. He used to work alongside the old man, helping him on his skiff, but was moved to another boat when the unlucky streak appeared to not be letting up. Manolin assists Santiago whenever he can, and carrying his gear, finding him dinner. That is how he helps him. The boy often steals and begs, in order to feed Santiago and find bait for his next day of fishing, etc. So, as a whole, he is very kind, thoughtful, and as interested in fishing and baseball as Santiago. So, if it was up to him, he would still be fishing with the old man. He has faith that Santiago will break his streak. So when Santiago returns to land after his days at sea, Manolin once again cares for him. Okay, that's how it goes with Manolin. Next important character is Martin. Actually, it's a secondary character in The Old Man and Sea. His kindness is shown through his generosity. When Manolin went out to find Santiago something to eat, it is Martin who gave the two dinner and the drinks. So there lies his importance. Next is Perico, a fellow resident of the village who gives Santiago newspaper to read. And it is from this publication that he keeps with baseball. The old man later gives Perico the Marlin's head. Then the other characters like Rogelio, he is another man in the village who treats Santiago with kindness and sometimes helps the old man with a fishing net also. And then a few fishermen who represent an array of emotional relations to Santiago's poverty and the 84-day plight of unlucky fishing. Then another important character is the fish Marlin, the 18-foot, 1,000-pound fish Santiago hooks and battles with over 3 days at sea. It was a beautiful creature with shimmering colors along its sides and an enormous sword. Through Santiago's narration, a reader understands the fish to be majestic, strong, and a worthy brother to humankind. Then there is reference about the sharks, a variety of shark species such as shovel-nosed sharks and mackerel. Track Santiago's skiff by following the Marlin's bloody trail. They attack the small vessel, tearing pieces from the fish. Santiago fights the sharks off and manages to kill a few of them. They eventually eat the entire marlin, leaving only its head, tail, and skeleton and sword. So, thereby, the sharks also play a role in the novel. So, these are all about the characters. Now, when you see through the story, The Old Man and the Sea is really an epic struggle of story of an epic struggle between an old man, a seasoned fisherman, and the greatest catch of his life. So, for 84 days, Santiago, an aged Cuban fisherman, has got set out to sea and returned empty-handed. So conspicuously unlucky is he that the parents of his young devoted apprentice and friend Manolin have forced the boy to leave the old man in order to fish in a more prosperous boat. So the attitude of the parents of Manolin is quite natural. Since Santiago hasn't been good in his fishing trip, they advised him to go for another boat. Nevertheless, the boy continues to care for the old man upon his return each night. He helps the old man tote his gear to his ramshackle hut, secures food for him, and discusses the latest developments in American baseball, especially the trials of the old man's hero, Joe DiMaggio. So Santiago is confident that his unproductive streak will soon come to an end, and he resolves to sail out farther than usual the following day. So on the 85th day of his unlucky streak, Santiago does as promised, sailing his skiff far beyond the island's shallow coastal waters and venturing into the Gulf Stream. He prepares his lines and drops them at noon. A big fish, which he knows is a marlin, takes the bait that Santiago has placed 100 fathoms deep in the waters. The old man expertly hooks the fish, but he cannot pull it in. Instead, the fish begins to pull the boat. Unable to tie the line fast to the boat for fear the fish would snap a taut line, the old man bears the strain of the line with his shoulders, back, and hands, ready to give slack should the marlin make a run. The fish pulls the boat all through the day, through the night, through another day, and through another night. It swims steadily northwest until at last it tires and swims east with the current. The entire time, Santiago endures constant pain from the fishing line. Whenever the fish lunges, leaves, or makes a dash for freedom, the cord cuts Santiago very hardly. Although wounded and weary, the old man feels a deep empathy and admiration for the fish marlin, his brother in suffering, strength, and resolve. On the third day, the fish tires, and Santiago, sleep deprived, aching, and nearly delirious, manages to pull the marlin in close enough to kill it with a harpoon thrust. Dead inside the skiff, the marlin is the largest Santiago has ever seen. His lashes it to his boat, raises the small mast, and sets sail for home. While Santiago is excited by the a price that the Marlin will bring at the market, he is more concerned that the people who will eat the fish are unworthy of its greatness. That was his concern. As Santiago sails on with the fish, the Marlin's blood leaves a trail in the water, and it attracts the sharks. The first to attack is the great mako shark, which Santiago manages to slay with the harpoon. In the struggle, the old man loses the harpoon and lengths of valuable rope, which leaves him vulnerable to other shark attacks. So the old man fights off the successive vicious predators as best as he can, stabbing at them with a crude spear he makes by lashing a knife to an oar, and even clubbing them with the boat's tiffler. Although he kills several sharks, more and more appear, and by the time night falls, Santiago's continued fight against the scavengers is useless. They devour the marlin's precious meat, leaving only the skeleton, head, and the tail of it. Santiago chastises himself for going out too far and for sacrificing his great and worthy opponent. He arrives home before daybreak, stamples back to his shack and sleeps very deeply. Next morning, a crowd of amazed fishermen gathers around the skeletal carcass of the fish, which is still lashed to the boat. Knowing nothing of the old man's struggle, tourists at a nearby cafe observe the remains of the giant marlin and mistake it for a shark even. Then Manolin, who has been worried sick over the old man's absence, is moved to tears when he finds Santiago safe in his bed. The boy fetches the old man some coffee and the daily papers with the baseball scores, and watches him sleep. When the old man wakes, the two agree to fish as partners once more. The old man returns to sleep and dreams his usual dream of lions at play on the beaches of Africa. That is how the novel ends. Thank you. Hope you have got it.